You find yourself in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in the Ashlands. There is nothing around for a long time. Your goal is to get away, to get back to civilization, for example, to get to Suran. But that's pretty far away. What's your first reaction to being told that this is the distance you have to cover to get to your destination? Is it something like,
Goddamn, that's far. I don't feel like running so long. Whatever, I'll quit the game and go there next time.
well, ugly mortal with a face that only a mother could love. What if I told you that you could get there very quickly? What if I told you you could get there in just a minute? Here, I'll show you. You see, while Morrowind does not have a point-and-click map travel as seen in Oblivion, Dagon Fel and Skyrim, that doesn't mean it doesn't have fast travel at all. Let's go back just a bit. The first thing I did was to go to my inventory and click the spell Almsivi Intervention. This is a spell that teleports you to the nearest tribunal temple, and these are always at major cities, which is how I covered over 1/3 of the way and got rid of most of the walking. Not bad, right? There are actually 2 other teleportation spells in this game. One is called Divine Intervention. This one, instead of teleporting you to tribunal temples, it teleports you to the nearest shrine of the imperial cult. These are located at imperial forts, which are a bit farther away. So, Almsivi will usually be the superior choice. But if you find yourself in the eastern part of Dagon Fel, it can get you to Sadrith Mora very quickly. It's also very useful in Solstheim. It can get you from the northern part of Solstheim to the southern part of Solstheim in an instant. The third is called Mark and Recall. That's actually 2 spells. Mark lets you set a mark that you will later return to, and Recall teleports you there. Disclaimer: Recall does not work in final main quest areas. You can't use it to escape from Dagon or to escape from either of the expansion main villains. After I used Almsivi Intervention, I found myself next to Aldrun Temple. Then I walked to the Mages Guild, and then I got myself to Balmora, because you see, every Mages Guild hall has a guild guide. Therefore, you can instantaneously travel between all the guild halls, which are located in, first of all the great house capitals. Aldrun for House Redaran, Balmora for House Hlalo, and Sadrith Mora for Great House Telvanni. There is also a guild hall in Caldera, which is a place with no other transport, and Vivec, the overall capital of Dagon Fel. So I used the guild guide to get to Balmora, and from there I walked to the Silt Strider. The Silt Strider can transport you to other places with Silt Striders, but usually not directly, at least not to all of them. But you can always get nearer your destination. So, for example, you can't get directly from Balmora to Gnisis. But you can go to Audrun and then to Gnisis. So I used the Silt Strider to get to Suran. My goal is now complete and I can enjoy the only strip club in Morrowind. But what about my next destination? How can I get to Dagon Fel, an isolated place in the north of Dagon Fel, on the island of Sheogorath? First travel to Balmora, then use the Balmora Guild Guide to get to Sadrith Mora. Now we walk to the docks of Sadrith Mora. Then we use ship transport to get to Dagon Fel. And here we are, simple. But what about more esoteric forms of fast travel? First, we can always jump or use a really expensive levitation scroll, but we're looking for something more official. There is some jewelry that allows teleportation. For example, if you become a vampire, your new vampire faction will give you an amulet to teleport directly to base. And believe me, as a vampire you'll need all the help you can get, because all transport services will refuse you service. There is also Barilzar's Mazed Band, which you'll get at the end of the Tribunal main quest. It transports you between 3 cities: Sofasil, Mournhold, and Vivec. But I was talking esoteric, right? Actually, there is a way to transport yourself between ancient strongholds of Dagon Fel, except Kogorun. These are basically dungeons. But it needs a bunch of work to be able to use it. An entire playlist of work. But if you have every Propylon Index and the Master Index official plugin, you can use Caldera as a hub to transport between Dunmer strongholds. Let's first get to Caldera and I'll show you. But to get to Caldera, first use ship. Then cast Divine Intervention to get directly to Wolverine Hall. Then in Wolverine Hall, use a guild guide to get to Caldera. And here it is. If you have the Master Index plugin and have done his quest, this NPC allows you to transport to and from every stronghold. If you don't have the plugin, you can still travel from every stronghold to 2 others. So you can still reach all of them, it'll just take a bit longer and you can't reach Caldera. Now, since you've been such a good sport and watched these videos thus far, make sure to check out my 10 essential spells in Morrowind. Thanks for watching and see you later.